It's your boy Crypto Millie back with another one. What are we doing? Are we passing time in crypto? I posted a video a little bit earlier about the Elon and Trump spat. Guys, let me know what y'all think about that. We're going to be checking out a few of your favorite charts today, ZBCN, Jasmy, and other AI protocols. And of course, when I say AI, these tokens are not just robotics AI, but the AI tokens and things that I am personally looking at, and a few other charts. So if you like these type of videos, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and keep your favorite crypto and door-to-door entrepreneur inside the algorithm. Now, today is July 1st, and you know how we do it each and every week. We had a bit of a market outlook. Our model has been for the most part, on point, right? And this was pretty much the June report here, right? So, you know what I mean? You can see what we went through in possibly in June, but we did have kind of like a rally, right? We actually had a rally opposed to the deepening correction, right? So the AI model wasn't all the way correct, but it has doubled down on its thesis that July could be a bearish month, contrary, right, to what many people believe, right? Because historically, as I showed the chart earlier in the last video, historically, as far as stock market, July usually is a pretty bullish month. So the executive summary here, a potential recovery is underway in July, with Bitcoin stabilizing above 100,000 after a mid-June correction. Improved economic data, PMI stabilizing near 48, initial claims dropping below 240, and a possible Fed cut could drive a rally, potentially pushing Bitcoin towards 115,000 to 126,000 by early October, aligning with the historical 550-day halving cycle. Now, I've showed you guys that chart a plethora of times. I'm not going to bring it up again. The bearish thesis here, the correction phase has deepened. Bitcoin would likely drop another 20 to 30%, 105 to around 73 or 84 by mid-July due to worsening economic contraction. Q2 GDP possibly negative 0.7%, and persistent tariff pressures. Trump did come out and say that he doesn't see a delay happening, right? Specifically with Japan, which could affect one of the tokens we're going to be talking about a little bit later. But I just don't see the bearish thesis happening. But again, anything can happen. I'm naturally bullish, so I'm always going to lean to the bullish thesis. But let me know, bears, in the comments, what do you think? The most likely scenario, according to our AI model, the bearish thesis remains dominant. Bitcoin likely corrects to 84.90 by mid-July, a 10% to 20% drop from June 1st, with equities down 15 to 20% and altcoins losing about 25 to 35%. So the model still is a little bit bearish and thinks that, July could be a month of correction. A brief rebound may occur late July if economic data surprises positively, with the trend leans forward. Further decline with the potential blow-off top delayed to September and October. Historically average, right, of halvings to peak patterns says about a 550 days. Currently, we're 438 days in. The second halving, it was 518 days post halving to the peak. The third halving, it was 544 days post halving to the peak. And right now we're about 438 days in. Let me know in the comments if you truly believe altcoin season will happen. Likely of the top being in 5 out of 10 from 4 out of 10, right? So the model is getting a little bit more bearish, like time is running out. The correction suggests that the early peak risk, but 92 days remain until the 550-day cycle, supporting further upside potential. Likely of a blow off top, 6 out of 10 down from 7 out of 10. Economic pressures may delay or weaken the blow off top, now projected for late September, early October, if the cycle holds, right? This is some updated market data here in a market timeline projection, right? Early June, correction phase deepening, mid-July stabilization. We could trade sideways. Late July, potential rebound. Late September, early October. They're predicting that we get some type of blow off top with Bitcoin. We know altcoin season happens about 3 to 6 months. The peak of altcoin season happens about 3 to 6 months after Bitcoin does its thing, right? Breaks that pi cycle top and MRV score. You know what I'm talking about. Asset class analysis, Bitcoin, altcoins, equities, high yields, and bonds, and the conclusion here. So again, guys, let me know how you think. Do you even think we're going to get an altcoin season? I personally do think it's going to happen. I don't think that the market has priced in tokenized stocks or even potentially, right? The Fed cuts in the end of QT, right? There's a lot of people starting to get bullish on ETH again because of the connection between the institutions and ETH, that you see those inflows start to rise. And we've been able to hold these prices, frankly, without retail actually being here. So we got to ask ourselves, will this new ability to tokenize stocks bring more retail? And this is the thing, I've also posed the question into people before we get into these charts, is do you think that the tokenized stocks being on chain where people can trade stocks like they trade crypto, does that hurt altcoins? Does that add in like a whole bunch of more like shit on chain, right, that can mess up people's focus? Because that's what's happening with all these dang coins. The market is getting diluted. So on the flip side, you got to think, yes, adoption could be possibly happening, but a lot of these stocks coming on chain could provide even more dilution in crypto. So we got to keep an open mind, not just always bullish, but also the cons of what could happen, right? With all of this stuff coming on chain, right? Yeah, bring more adoption, but now are people going to sell their altcoins and hit the stock casino? You know what I mean? It's just crazy, right? But you are seeing July after we had a little pump for the weekend. That's why they say don't trust the pumps on the weekend, right? We are seeing July getting off to a pretty rough start. Now, what charts am I specifically looking at? As far as AI protocols, I do like Tau. I'm a big fan of Tau. I've been stacking as much Tau as possible and staking it in root. I'm staking my Tau and forgetting about it, right? I look at Tau like I look at, like people looked at Bitcoin in its early stages, right? I truly believe Tau is going to hit north of $10,000. I seen a video by Barry Silver himself where he was talking about, just imagine Tau being the ecosystem for robotics or the ecosystem for AI, right? So with that being said, this thing has massive potential. And you can see this stock Tau X, they just started like adding Tau to their treasuries, and look at the stock price. The stock price has been pumping. People have actually been trading stocks a lot. Even crypto people have been moving to like the stock market, and you can see like in specifically crypto stocks. But you can see here like this Tau synergies. It reminds me of like maybe it's gonna be like a micro strategy, right? And this is just the beginning. I don't know. Maybe I buy some of this. Chat, do we buy some of this Tau X? It's on Robinhood. They renamed the Tau. Check it out, Tau Synergies. They added Tau to the treasuries and they continue to plan on buying Tau. So Tau, we did get that sell signal right here at the beginning. It was a little in the middle of July. In June. But we're coming up. I think that we should see a lot of the stock RSI start to curl back up and put in these higher low. But the thing about it is, it's the macro, right? The macro has to change, right? Something has to change within the macro. Like the Fed has to cut. Something has to happen. But right here, I think that if we think that Q4 is going to be bullish, then right here would be the higher low to start adding to your altcoins. Another altcoin that I think is getting ready for the next leg up, possibly in the next 2 to 4 weeks, is ZBCN, right? ZBCN, again, the stock RSI is looking for its reset. It's holding really, really good. The community is more thriving more than ever. We know that this is attacking a very, very niche sector, which is the payroll sector, and allowing the payroll to be on chain opposed to just like these apps like ADP that you got to wait forever for your freaking money. Well, now payroll could be instantly, right? And also the POS environment, those machines that you will literally walk anywhere and you can see those machines, and just imagine those machines being Web3 machines opposed to Web2 machines. So this is the area that ZBCN is working to disrupt, and it's literally $1 trillion market, right? The payroll market is $1 trillion market, right? It doesn't just specifically stop in any city or state. This is worldwide type stuff. You know, go look into remittances and seeing how huge that market is and why people are so bullish on XRP. So if the community continues to have this type of resolve, I only see ZBCN closing out this specific cycle really well, really well. And a few other AI protocols that I think could do well in the next leg up is Peaq, which they're building a machine economy, right? So Peaq is, in my opinion, thriving, right? And I think that this is a very good opportunity to load up on Peaq, man. I really feel like if we do get the next leg up, a lot of these tokens that look like this will put in V-shaped recoveries, especially ones in these good sectors. Peaq has got its stock RSI cross. It has not confirmed bullish momentum yet above 20, but it looks like it's on its way. And this, like I said, this green candle could be the start of the next trend to the upside with Peaq. I also would look into the base token Ayuki. They actually posted Peaq today on X. So Peaq Network, two projects that are working on ushering us into robotics and the machine economy and decentralized physical AI. So again, big on AI. There's a few Tau subnets doing something similar. But anyway, just focus on the tokens and start your research. That's on tokens that I said, like Ayuki, Peaq, Tau, and start doing your research on some of the subnets. All right. So the last token I want to talk about, of course, is Jasmy. Again, Jasmy has got a stock RSI cross. We're looking to get the higher low here with Jasmy and want this trend to continue to the upside, parallel to the price and the price action here on the chart, right? Turning these moving averages into support. We really need to turn these moving averages into support. But Jasmy, I think, is a very good buy right now. It's being suppressed heavily by Binance. The community is still thriving. Communities are still strong. A little bit FUD here and there. The community been asking for updates here and there, but I think that Jasmy, in an environment where we are injecting liquidity into the economy, these are the type of tokens that will thrive. Tokens with utility and use case with silly communities. And we love them. We love the silly communities. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. That was the update. It's your boy Crypto Millie. What's your favorite tokens? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you the next one.